Today we're going to be looking at the bannings. Wizards just went crazy. The whole standard format, danger. So they banned 7 cards from it. And they banned a lot of cards. They banned something from everything. Starting with Corey Steelcutter, the 2-mana equipment that gives creatures +1/+1 haste and trample. And whenever you play your second spell each turn, you get a prowess creature. Actually, personally, for me, I actually think prowess is broken. I can't believe Monastery Swiftspear is literally a common. They put that into Pauper, and then they banned it. I think Swiftspear is actually much closer to rare level than uncommon or common. This has been seeing a lot of play for the entirety of Magic the Gathering's history. Even saw some legacy play. So Corey Steelcutter was outright super powerful in Standard because they had the mana curve of Legacy. I mean, you ever look at those? Has anyone ever taken a close look at these deck lists? I remember when Standard used to be ridiculously clunky. Look, one drop, another one drop, stock up. But you know what? It costs 2 less. I'm thinking of the wrong card. I'm thinking of that one's not a 1-drop. That's a 3-drop. Stormchaser's Talent, also a 1-drop. So there's also to speak, this deck not only is super strong, so strong, but the top 3 archetypes in Standard were crowding out everything else. You have 32% for Prowess over the last 30 days, 26% for Mono Red, 12% or 13ish% for Omniscience, 8% for Dimir midrange, and you go down, it's like almost nothing. You're just scraping at the bottom of the barrel. But why can't we make it more diverse? So Wizards said, you know what? Let's make it more diverse. Everything's gonna get a ban. You're getting a ban. You're getting a ban. You're getting a ban. Everyone gets banned. Unless you're one of those 1.6%ers. Bryce says, I'm surprised nothing was banned in Modern. We'll get to it, but they basically said they're not going to ban anything in Modern for the entire Modern RCQ season, which is still going on right now. So anyway, Corey Steelcutter, one of their main reasons that it got banned was because it was seeing Modern play. They're like, whoa, this card is like Modern playable. It's a really strong card in that format. So they had to get hit with the ban hammer. The Big Squig says Standard is going to be weird for a month. All the current decks got banned and rotation is July 25th. They got weakened. So some decks might still stick around. Everyone got axed by some. Is Prowess really going to go away? No, it was there before Corey Steelcutter was legal. It was there. Okay? It still existed. It wasn't as strong. It went over the top because of Corey Steelcutter. So a lot of these decks, they're still playable. They just all got their quintessential cards cut off, but they're still around. You know, they didn't completely ban the deck unless you want to abandon it completely. You can still go to F&M. You can still go grind 2/2 in that F&M around here. Access some music. To be honest, I can't believe someone decided this card was fine to print. You know, honestly, if Standard was more clunky, this probably wouldn't be a big deal. Like, cards like this scale with the older formats because there's more 1-drops. It just so happens because there's a big Standard, it's like 3 years worth of cards, or what is that about right? That people can really push this thing hard. Because otherwise, if you can't play 2 spells in 1 turn, this card is just sort of dirtling and weak. But they can play 2 spells in 1 turn in a big way as well. I just want Standard to be a 3 or 4 turn format again. Yeah, I agree. I agree. These decks, once they just scale out of control once it snowballs. They wanted to hold Mono Red's hand for the past few years. Yeah, for some reason. They're just really high on Mono Red. Anyway, Corey Steelcutter, it got banned. Next card. Abu Elo's Awakening. I'm surprised. There's some people who predicted this card was going to get banned. I would never have predicted this thing. It was one of the core cards in the Omniscience, Blue-White Omniscience deck to reanimate, I suppose, the Omniscience so that you can go ham. So 4 mana and X sorcery, return target artifact or non-or enchantment card from your graveyard. Oh, was it Omniscience? I don't want to look like a complete noob here. Yeah, it was Omniscience. Okay, I sometimes get Omniscience and Enter the Infinite mixed up because at least in other formats they're they're both played. So Omniscience, you may play spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. So basically, if this thing's on the battlefield, you're not going to be on the battlefield for very long. You're going to get hit really hard. So this was a way of discard. You discard the Omniscience, return it to the battlefield. It was like Reanimator. And it's a weird thing that they took a card away from the Omniscience deck because, like, wasn't that sort of holding the other strong decks in check? But I guess if those strong decks, if mono red is too powerful and then gets axed by multiple cards, they're getting multiple cards banned, then I guess Abuelo's Awakening needs to be taken down. Because, I mean, the deck was really strong, even in this really harsh metagame as it is. It's pronounced Abuelo. Oh, that sounds great. I like my Abuelos. This one surprised me too. Like, the deck that used this before Omniscience was reprinted was pretty weak and clunky. But the deck is really strong right now. I'm just wondering, is the Omniscience deck any good without this card? Like, this seems to be pretty key to its consistency. Like, what if Omniscience just dies after this banning? Do they, or like, I admit I'm not educated enough to know what Azorius Omniscience position is in the metagame or what its deck evolution is, but I mean, this card has been legal the entire time. It was the flying that took the card over the top. It's a 1/1 spirit creature with flying in addition to its other types. Yeah, it is. Okay, so it becomes a B with X additional +1/+1 counters on it. Is this you got to be a joke? This has got to be a joke here. No, Omni dies now, so it lost one of the key combo cards. If there's something I know about combo, it's like it's got X pieces to execute the combos and X pieces to enable the combo. And if you take out one of them, like one of the combo payoffs or one of the enablers, like the whole thing can completely fall apart. It might be just too hard to enable the entire thing. But I guess they're making. I guess what they want to do, they want Omniscience to like maybe be something. Maybe someone can be really creative and bring it back to its prominence. You can play with Yuna and reanimate turn 5 instead. Okay, we got a little something there. A little slower, but you know what? We're slowing the format down. Mono Red's not going to be as oppressive. Is it prowess? Probably is going to be as oppressive as it used to be, but who knows? Nikachu doesn't seem to know Spanish, but he knows... No, I don't know French. I don't know any languages. I try... Whenever someone tries to teach me a language, it just gets spit out directly in the other ear. I don't hear any of it. There are worse options for Omni combo, but it won't be tier 1 anymore. You never know. You never know. Anyway, Abuelo's Awakening. Sorry you got banned. Actually, I'm not sorry. I really don't care. Monstrous Rage. Yes! Like, I can't believe this. I can't believe A, this card lasted so long. B, people defend the crap out of this card. Like, there are some hardcore Monstrous Rage defenders. And I have to say, if you're defending a card, whenever you defend a card everyone's asking to be banned, you have to give a disclaimer that you play the card yourself. You have to. You have to be like, okay, full disclaimer, I'm a mono red player. I play Monstrous Rage in Standard, Pioneer, sometimes Modern. I think Monstrous Rage is fine. Ban Manifold Mouse. Ban all the other creatures. Yeah, Monstrous Rage no more. So even from my experience, I tried to build Merfolk in Standard, and I mean, I had more problems than just Monstrous Rage. But like, I would have like 0 problem with the red decks if only I could block the damn creatures and then just try to tempo them out. I hate this card in Pioneer too. And it was just wild to me, just absolutely wild to me, that you have a deck that was... If you look at Pioneer, I don't know if the Standard players are familiar with the Pioneer metagame. Mono Red is the best deck in Pioneer, with a meta percentage of 26%, whatever you want to give credit, if you want to give that any weight from the MTG Goldfish stuff. The whole deck is legal in Standard, almost the entire deck. We have Heartfire Hero, Ember Heart Challenger, Manifold Mouse, Screaming Nemesis. We got Sunspine, Lynx, Burst Lightning, Monstrous Rage. We got Reckless Rage, Lightning Strike. Okay, the Kamano is cycled up, but like basically this entire deck is legal in Standard. You got most of it in there. So why did it last? Why is it lasting so long? And I have to say, I hate this card in Pioneer too. Same problem. With a prowess creature in play, you know what it boils down to? This card is Searing Blaze with landfall. Searing Blaze is an instant. I'll show you guys what Searing Blaze is. Searing Blaze. This is the best way I can explain the power level of Monstrous Rage. Searing Blaze is a beating versus any creature deck. Double red instant, deal 1 damage to target creature or player and 1 damage to target creature that player controls. But it's got landfall. If a landfall entered the battlefield this turn, you deal 3 damage to that player and 3 damage to that creature instead. What always happens is you block a creature, they Monstrous Rage it, and it always buffs the creature up enough that A, the creature survives, your creature dies, and you take damage. Always. Monstrous Rage should have been green. Maybe. That would make it harder. They'd probably still use it, though. Although it would be harder for other decks, like, say, Is It Prowess to make any use out of it. Yeah, Monstrous Rage. Well, okay, I will admit, this is one of those cards you look at and it's like, whatever. Like, is that really going to be playable? Is that any good? Since when was a combat trick ever competitive? Like, basically never. But this one drew the line. It crossed the line. There was a line, and it crossed it. Maybe it would have been more fair if it was just, like, +3, +0. Okay, I think that would have made a big difference. If you get rid of the monster roll token and just say, target creature gets +3, +0 until end of turn. That might have made it work. And give it trample until end of turn. It trampled over the line. It definitely trampled over the line. It crossed and trampled over something that was blocking in that line. So if it didn't give the monstrous roll token, maybe it would have been more fair. Because usually that monster roll token, which gives +1/+1, defends that creature enough that it lives. It always lives on a prowess creature. Attack with Swift Spear, Monstrous Rage. Well, screw you. It blows through every creature every other deck wants to play in the aggro matchup. So maybe with... And Brian Kibler said this first. Like, it killed blocking. Brian Kibler loves green cards. Loves playing Mana Dork into some chunky 3-drop. You just can't do that in a Monstrous Rage metagame. It doesn't work. You block, they Monstrous Rage. You keep taking damage. You're supposed to be able to block creatures. Like, that was classically how you beat aggro decks. You block them. Do any other roll tokens even see play? Actually, there was one. It was that black Reanimate card. It was like one of those black Undying cards. Maybe it was Undying. No, not Undying. Can't remember. I saw play in Scam, though. Trample is a problem. Trample is a problem, but also buffing the creature is a problem. Look, I mean, here's the thing. If I could block the creature, they Monstrous Rage, I take damage, but their creature dies, I'd be fine with that. That's like an okay exchange for me. I exchange like maybe 3 of my life points and my creature in play for their Monstrous Rage and the creature in play. But usually Monstrous Rage very often protects the creature that's attacking. It lives. And then my creature dies, which is terrible. I still have this play. This is a playmat. Monstrous Rage. Smacked by a bear. Mr. Rakusi, the only creatures you could play in Standard needed to have Death Touch, and if the Manifold Mouse is on board, also First Strike. Yeah, it's tough stuff. I mean, Monstrous Rage, of course, didn't see play in just Mono Red. Also saw play in Is It, although they shaved the copies down to 3 copies instead of 4. They weren't nearly as greedy. Oh, Not Dead After All was the other one. Yeah, so roll tokens, they have actually seen a lot of competitive play. There's a lot of competitive roll tokens out there. Maybe not anymore. Limited is trash. Well, I guess we're mostly constructed players here. But anyway, Monstrous Rage. Yeah, bringing limited to constructed power level. And anyway, it got banned, and I'm happy for it. I'd be even happier if they bring that philosophy to Pioneer. But we'll talk more about the other formats later, because it was very interesting. They cleaned house in Standard, because that's probably what they were paying attention to most. Didn't do anything in the other formats, because long story short, I'm actually pretty sure that nobody was paying attention to them. Except for Gavin Verhey. Gavin is on the ball with Pauper. Thank you very much, Gavin. We actually need Gavin monitoring all the other formats. I nominate Gavin Verhey for president. Okay, Heartfire Hero. I don't know how many people saw this on the radar. I don't know if this was on everybody's radar, because I think Manifold Mouse was also a candidate to get banned from the mono red deck. So Heartfire Hero, red 1/1 Mouse Soldier with Valiant. Whenever Heartfire Hero becomes the target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn, put a counter on it. And when it dies, it deals that much damage equal to its power to each opponent. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a great card. I mean, it's on curve, it's a 1-drop. And that was one of the reasons it got banned, is because it is a 1-drop. So who would have known? A lot of 1-drops in the format make it super fast and tuned. And I made mention, like, the Is It Cutter deck, it looks like a modern deck. Looks like it doesn't look that much. The Is It Cutter deck and these mono red decks, they don't look very far off from something you would see in Pioneer/Modern. And in fact, the red deck does see play in Pioneer, and the Cutter deck looks very similar to a modern deck, just no free spells. I thought it was going to be Manifold Mouse, but this makes sense too. Yeah, I mean, so a lot of people that were defending Monstrous Rage, they're always like, Monstrous Rage is not the problem. Like, get out of here. Monstrous Rage is gone. The solution is you always have to ban more than one card. So in their mind, like, Monstrous Rage isn't a problem. It's some other cards the problem. No, they can both be problems. And they correctly banned at least a second card from the mono red deck. So the card was banned because it was a 1-drop, and also because it gave some pretty good longevity. There's no good way to play around this card. You either have to kill it immediately so that it doesn't get that much value. And remember, it gets some value. When it dies, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. It has 1 power. So no matter what, it will always get value when it dies. But of course, if the game keeps going longer and longer and longer, maybe it needed to be a 2-drop. Because if they go turn 1 Heartfire Hero and start putting counters on this thing, it just gets stronger from there. They really made a mistake making all those mice synergistic. I think that was great. I mean, they pushed it a little too hard. I think it's cool that we have synergy again. What happened to good old-fashioned synergy? Now, they might have been pushed. That might have been a problem. Like, for example, how about you have Heartfire Hero, but you don't have the second ability here? So whenever it becomes the target, you get a counter. That seems pretty reasonable. You put some buff spells. You you use Manifold Mouse with Heartfire Hero. I think that's great. But it was just a little too pushed for a 1-drop, that's all. Just a smidge too pushed. Heartfire Hero plus Super State? What the hell is that? Oh, this is a new card. Enchant creature you control. It has base power 9/9. Oh no. Well, not anymore. There was a potential future with that, but Wizards has cut that future short. It was great, but the problem is power creep. Yeah, they power creep Standard big time. I'm really surprised how mana efficient Standard is. Back in my day, you didn't even have enough things to play on turn 1. You had so few things to play on turn 1 that usually land go was a pretty common. It was just a common thing to do. Oh, big shout out to the main Mon with the delicious super chat. Or sorry, becoming a member. Really appreciate it. Really nice avatar too. If you Jess says, if you super chat Nikachu 450, he will get your address and send you happy stuff. You might be right, actually. I'll definitely pocket the difference. If only it said equal to the number of counters on Heartfire Hero instead of power. Still would be pretty strong though. I mean, I mean, that's a way of watering it down. Probably have to just get rid of one of these abilities. Super State Secret Lair. So it was never going to be a standard combo. Oh, is it? Oh, damn. They print anything these days. I just assume it's going through the standard pipeline. Stormy Cat says, I'm old enough to remember Jackal Pup being a bomb turn 1 play. Exactly. Look at where 1-drops have taken us these days. Our own creatures don't even deal damage to us anymore. Unlike the Jackal Pup days. I can't wait for Oops all summer. What, in standard? Okay, Excessa says, the mono red of today would steamroll that infamous red aggro deck from standard 2018. I don't remember. Oh, I do remember standard back then. That's good. That's a good question. They should get Card Market to find out the best mono red deck in Magic's history, because they like to do stuff like that. They just pull mono red from all eras, see which mono red deck is the best. All right, Hardfire Hero, you're banned. And I'm fine with that. It's so hard to interact with this crap. It's just so hard. It's like, have a removal spell on turn 1. I'm playing Standard. I don't have removal. What do they have on turn 1? No, I think only the red decks have removal. Awful. Up the Beanstalk. 2-mana enchantment. When it enters the battlefield and whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, draw a card. So they banned this card because they admit that, yeah, this is getting a lot of value. And they actually admitted that it was having, like, design space was being a little choked because they knew this card existed. So it's like, do we want to make these, like, expensive cards the way that we're doing it? Because they could get triggered up the Beanstalk. So they decided, you know what? This is becoming a hassle to design around. You know, if future card design is being hindered by this card, you know what? I think it's time to let it go. Not to mention, this is not the first. It's not the first format it's been banned in. It's been banned in Modern immediately. They got it out of here immediately. What formats do I play? I play the more powerful formats. I like Modern. I like Legacy. And I might even dabble in Vintage. I might be interested in Vintage. But I have had to play Standard over the last 6 months. A few times. So I can resonate with the power level. Standard's powerful. I was surprised. Even the Pixie deck wiped me clean off my slate. I mean, I couldn't believe it. Standard was actually... I felt like Standard was stronger than Pioneer to some degree. Beanstalk plus Warp would have been nuts. Oh, Time Warp? Oh, is Time Warp legal in Standard? Probably not. Okay, Draconic says, I played Beanstalk, but was too poor to craft the Overlords on Arena, so I just played it in Big Green Stuff. That's not a problem at all. Yeah, so the Overlords deck, it's probably still going to be a deck. It might, I mean, obviously it's not going to be nearly as strong as it used to be. This is just free card draw. Turn 2, draw a card. And they never run out of cards. They just, I mean, the Overlords by themselves, they're already like massive card advantage machines. And on top of that, you want to draw a raw card at the same time? No, screw that. No, ban Beanstalk. And I guess this is just a means of... Now, they did admit that this is a bit of a soft pre-rotation before an actual rotation. Like, they can be aggressive here because whole format's going to shake up soon when the actual rotation happens. So let's start by cleaning up all these annoying cards. And I'm sure... I don't know. I'm very curious to know what it looks like from their angle, from Wizards R&D. Like, do they see, like, gameplay is just collapsing because Standard is no longer fun? No one's being creative. There's so many, like, gatekeeper cards in the format. No, Warp is a new mechanic in the upcoming set. Oh! You pay lower cost to put a creature in play for a single turn. Oh, yeah. That would have got broken. We got Irweenie. Thank you very much for your super chat. May you check M. Hayashi? He's been missing in action. Hope he's okay. I'm sure he's been doing fine. There's been a bit of like, fact of the matter is a lot of people have been moving on from Magic, or they're taking much longer, they're taking bigger breaks. They're waiting for the game to be what it used to be. I think the biggest problem with Wizards R&D, they have a lot of formats to manage, and they're sort of being completely tone deaf with the community. Like Standard had a lot of problems for a very long time. Now this would be the first time that I wouldn't say the first time that they're listening, but they clearly listen to the community and they're just like, okay, let's just wash it all away. We're gonna do what the people want, and let's hope, and I hope it's gonna be a success. Because here's the thing, like, let's go back to the meta percentages for Standard. Now, Standard generally has been historically like a 3-deck format. But does it have to? Like, why does it have to be a 3-deck format? There is, like, let's start banning cards from all the top decks and try to flatten it out. So that Selesnya Angels can get bigger, white tokens, and Rakdos aggro, and Selesnya auras, and all this other stuff. Sorry, hold on. Are we in Pioneer? Sorry, we're in Pioneer. It's like, those were not Standard decks. Okay, is it? I was confused because the mono red was on the top. Okay, is it prowess, mono red, omniscience? It just goes to show that Pioneer deserves some bannings too. But if we go back to Standard, mono black mid range, Golgari mid range, Azorius control, Jeskai control. The balance decks can get a little. Well, I don't know. Balance decks just lost a card, but Gruel aggro. Oh, the insidious root stacks. Like, we can have a flatter metagame. It's possible. It can be done. But you do have to axe cards to make that necessary. Now, I understand it's a bit awkward for Wizards, and I'll tell you why. Because they're trying to bring Standard back to life. So, as we all know, during COVID, Standard died. It was really hard for people to get back into Standard because they weren't buying the cards for the last, like, 3 years. So nobody had a Standard collection. Why would they even participate in Standard? So it was really hard. It was super hard to jump fire Standard. So even though the format was heinous, they didn't want to ban anything because it seemed inappropriate. Shaking up, or not shaking up, but like even just remedying the format could still hurt people. They didn't get to play with their mono red deck long enough. They didn't get to play with their Overlords deck long enough. They didn't get to play with their Is It Prowess deck long enough. They wanted to at least give some security, some safety to the people buying into Standard, at least at the time. And I guess they're willing to make the big change now because, all right, you got to play with your deck for, you know, a good chunk of the year. And now there's going to be a big shakeup anyway, so we might as well like ban cards at the same time. Okay, Toilet Doc says, funny story, whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater ability triggers, even if you didn't actually pay the mana when casting it. What? Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater ability triggers, no, you have to pay mana to officially cast it. When did that happen? Old Boy says, crazy how Standard went from being flourishing 3 months ago to needing 7 bans. That's what happens when you don't keep those mono red cards in check. Okay, to be fair, the Overlords people probably knew what they were getting into. Maybe. I mean, Overlords obviously weren't even the best deck, like, near the end out of all this. It was a deck. I was slightly surprised about Up the Beanstalk, but I guess it's because of future design that they want to ban it now. Okay, we got Mon-Fri saying Beanstalk just cares about the card entering the battlefield, not even being cast. Oh, sorry. Yeah. You're correct. Sorry if I misspoke about that. No. Hold on. when Beanstalk cares about the card. Hold on. Beanstalk cares about entering the battlefield, not even being cast. I see what you mean. Yes. Beanstalk, it enters the battlefield. You draw a card. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, draw a card. You know, as a streamer / YouTuber or whatever, I actually don't know what the hell I'm saying sometimes as I'm saying. In my mind, I know what I'm saying. But then when I watch the replay, it's like, I actually said that? That's not what I meant. Okay, for Toilet Duck's comment, compare Up the Beanstalk with the text of Omniscience. I don't know what you guys are talking about anymore. So if you cast something without paying mana cost, the mana value can still be 5 or more. No! You have to pay for something to be successfully put on the stack, hence cast. You have to pay the mana cost. There are some cards where you can cast and it doesn't pay the mana cost, but you have to pay the mana cost. Let's not be spreading misinformation around here. The mana value of a card is not affected. Oh, okay. Oh, that's what you meant. Yeah. Something. So, if the card is 5 mana, but it says as an alternative cost to cast the spell, you can exile a white card from your hand. Correct. That also works. Also, the same thing with the Overlords. They had like they had costs of like what 2 to 4 mana, I think. The value is the new word for CMC. Yeah, the mana value. The mana values. All right, Beanstalk, you got banned. Okay, we'll look at more standard bans and we'll talk about everything they didn't ban. But we got to take a little break to talk about our sponsors today, FusionGamingOnline.com, my favorite place to buy my Magic the Gathering cards. And if you're looking for a new standard format, well, this is the place to get those cards because it's a whole new metagame. It's a whole new world. And you can get those. Oh, do we have a deal of the week this week? Deal of the week always changes every week. 15% off all Lorcana sealed products. That's not Magic. Well, they do sell from all other card games. Lorcana, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Flesh and Blood, and more. And between all those card games, if you don't like even the new standard, you could play those card games. Anyway, you can support the channel and support yourself, getting 5% off using coupon code Nikachu when shopping at FusionGamingOnline.com. And even bigger, if you love playing and playtesting this new format, you want to play all the decks, this is the moment. You don't buy into the deck, you rent them with Mana Traders. The platform for renting cards on Magic Online. It's the ban list saver, so you didn't have to buy into the mono red deck. And if it becomes useless tomorrow, well, they're great. You can just rent another deck. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 40% cash back on your 3rd month subscription using coupon code Nikachu_OWS. And back to the BNR announcement. Okay, next card. Hopeless Nightmare. I was a little bit surprised about this. So we have a black enchantment. When Hopeless Nightmare enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card and loses 2 life. When Hopeless Nightmare is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, scry 2. And then for 3 mana, sacrifice Hopeless Nightmare. Was the Pixie deck really all that powerful? Like, it was a good deck. This feels weird. Like, okay, so you ban all the cards from the S tier decks, and then you start going after the A tier decks. We didn't even give it a chance. I have to admit, I was very frustrated playing against this card. I couldn't even beat the Pixie deck because this is like, it's like a shock they can repeatedly shock you with because they keep bouncing it with This Town Ain't Big Enough. It got banned. Sorry, was it this? I think they had This Town Ain't Big Enough and other cards that bounce cards back then. It got banned. Why are we hating on Pixies? Why are we hating on the self-bounce deck? Not to mention, that was like a super unique deck. I don't think I can ever recall in the history... Okay, I don't play much Standard because I'm more of a modern Legacy player, but I just can't think of a deck that actually utilized like self-bounce so well. Although I have to admit, with This Town Ain't Big Enough, in Standard, there was a lot of self-bounce synergies going on. This feels like them speculating on the incoming meta after the bans. Yeah, I guess so. It seemed very unfair. I didn't think Nightmare was that strong in Arena, but it makes black weaker, so I am all for it. They probably could have left this one unbanned, especially with Town. Just out of curiosity, was it seeing play in the other black decks, like Golgari Midrange? Like, I don't think so. I don't see it. Like, was there any other black decks playing this card? Like... Not really. So I don't get this card. Yeah, it's super speculation. Yeah, this was super annoying with Town, but they banned Town. Yeah, they banned Town. They banned Town too. So they just like they sent a nuclear weapon after this deck. This poor B tier Standard deck. Poor B tier. May not even be B tier. Maybe even C tier. Pixies have been a deck since forever. To be honest. Oh, you mean in Standard? All discard decks want to play this card. Yeah, when a Hopeless Nightmare is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, scry 2, and you can sack it, enter the battlefield, each opponent loses 2 life. Huh? All discard decks? I don't get it. I don't know if all discard decks want to play this card. I loved using Nightmare as a decent trigger. Oh, it was a great trigger. So anyway, they banned this card too. It's probably unjustified, but whatever. Big Squig likes the art. That's good. Okay, and then they bound This Town Ain't Big Enough. Man, if you told me that a bounce spell at 2 mana was going to get banned, I wouldn't have believed you. I would not have believed you for a second. So 5 mana, but cost 3 less if it targets a permanent you control, which you wanted to. You know, a permanent like Hopeless Nightmare. Return up to 2 target non-land perms to their owner's hands. So it's like it's a pretty big value. Because A, you're always you're tempoing your opponent out. Now, that would usually be fair. 2 mana to, like, bounce your opponent's card back to hand. It's usually, I would say, actually, it's bad value. That's not value that you can rely on. But bouncing your own card at the same time, that was good value. I don't know if it was completely overpowering in the Pixie deck, but it was clearly a lot more clearly way more powerful in, say, a Cutter deck. I steal the deck, then caps all? What are you talking about? I think this is one. I think this one is more weird to me than Hopeless Nightmare. No, I see this. This is just a real. It's a super popular card. It's a popular card. It's very high value. I remember, like, I wouldn't say a lot of people were complaining about This Town Ain't Big Enough. I certainly wasn't one of them, but I could hear the rumblings on Twitter that this card was... I want to say the higher level players actually think that this card is just busted. Like, they were hoping for a this town ain't big enough ban for a very, very long time, and then finally it came. I guess it's just enabling too many strategies. It's not that it bounced a card, it's that it bounces 2 cards for 2 mana. Yeah, but the thing, it's bouncing your own stuff is supposed to be a disadvantage. In this case, it's an advantage. It's a big time advantage. I would actually more look at it, it's like, it's bouncing your opponent's card for 2 mana, it bounces your own card for 0 mana. Because remember, you have to sink more mana into that card that you just bounced. So, like, in theory, it should be tempoing yourself out, but in practice, it's not, because the value of the card that you're bouncing back... I mean, there were 1-drops, right? So, like, Hopeless Nightmare is a 1-drop. The Otter card, I can't remember what that card is. What's the card with the little cute otter? The cute otter card! Storm Chaser's Talent! It's so cute and so talented. So, you bounce this card. I wonder if the thing didn't have prowess, would that be fine? It basically made Monastery Swiftspear tokens for the most part. Sure, it's shaved off 1 toughness, but big deal. I ran 4x in my mono black. But 4x of this town ain't big enough? Oh, are you talking about, I think, Hopeless Nightmare? Hopefully a Hopeless Nightmare. Yeah, Storm Chaser's Talent. So anyway, and I guess they didn't want to ban Storm Chaser's Talent, so they then ended up banning This Town Ain't Big Enough. Okay, it's banned. Is that it? Okay, those are all the standard bans. Okay, now a weird... okay, so that happened. So now we go on. Let's look at another format. Pioneer. Holy crap, they're letting this thing rot. So a lot of people are complaining, or at least not a lot. There were Pioneer players that are like, what about Pioneer? They said Pioneer was super diverse and great. Well, what's so diverse about 26% mono red aggro? What's so diverse about that? And then we got Mono Red's cousin, Is It Phoenix, which is basically, I mean, Is It Phoenix might as well look like another Is It Prowess deck from Standard. Oh, look, we got Corey Steelcutter. We got here, this does a good impersonation of Swiftspear. You got all your 1-drops, all your 1-drop interaction and cantrips. And it also, yeah, plays Corey Steelcutter, which, so it is modern power level. It's also Pioneer power level. So they got like the same problem in Pioneer and do nothing. They did absolutely nothing. They simply don't care about Pioneer. With the most frustrating thing is that Wizards R&D always gives some sort of BS explanation for their BNR announcements. And like you know, they what did they say about specifically Pioneer in this case? They did ban some other cards. They banned Tybalt's Trickery in Best of 1 Pioneer Online, Corey Steelcutter and Alchemy, and they unbanned Counterspell and Historic for anyone that needed to know. Let's go to Pioneer. Okay, Arya, tell us. We remain happy with the state of Pioneer since our last announcement. The format is healthy and it's diverse. Newer cards continue to make a splash in the format with additional of Corey Steelcutter to Is It Phoenix. Yes! Making it super powerful, a little too powerful. So anyway, they basically have a very similar explanation for all the formats that aren't Standard. So they were paying super close attention to Standard, not so much close attention to the other formats. Yeah, healthy and diverse. I don't know, maybe in the leagues they're okay. Let's take a look at a Pioneer Challenge. Pioneer Challenge looks okay, actually. Not gonna lie. It looks okay. You got Hidden Strings, Celestial Angels, Golgari Food, Blue-Red. You know, just taking a quick look at a Pioneer Challenge, it's not nearly as bad. You do see a lot of Mono-Red. Mono-Red, 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 another Mono-Red, another Mono-Red. So it just goes to show that it's not perfectly great. They copied each other's homework when writing the ban article. They also copy, like, past homework from past BNR announcements. Yeah. Pioneer is flourishing! Flourishing, we say. Pioneer must be healthy, otherwise Wizards of the Coast would have banned some. Exactly! That's a lot of red and black. It's a lot of red, black. Also a lot, I mean, it's a lot of blue as well. Anyway, they could have done something about Mono Red here. I don't even know what you banned. Do you ban Monstrous Rage in this format too? Like, I don't know. I don't know what you do here. It's just so weird to ban any of these cards. Also, Heartfire Hero, maybe? Anyway, it's so weird to ban Monstrous Rage and like Pioneer, but maybe that's just what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do. And probably maybe the same thing with Is It Phoenix now with Corey Steelcutter. Is It Phoenix is an unbelievable cool deck now. Basically modern power level. Okay, moving on. Modern. Now, they did say they weren't gonna touch Modern for the RCQ season. They weren't gonna ban anything. They want to see how like they don't want to screw over everyone's investment for the season. Yeah, so much flourishing. Also flourishing here. Now, Boros Energy's numbers are going down partially because so much like the amount of combo is just skyrocketing. Belcher's a combo deck. Amulet Titan's a combo deck. Is It Prowess? Borderline combo deck. Broodscale's a combo deck. Ruby Storm, another combo deck. Gora's Vengeance, a combo deck. Living End, a combo deck. Neo Brand, a turn 2 combo deck. So a lot of combo decks to eat up on those Boros Energy numbers. Now, if we go look at the last 7 days, Boros Energy is a little bit more healthy than it looks. It's just that there was a period over the last 30 days where Prowess was really popular, but Prowess just got its... So it's easy to deal with Prowess. Is It Prowess? It was a big deck for a while. It was number 2, but then like everyone adapted to it and it just died. Everyone adapted equally to Boros Energy, but it's still thriving. Like they had a Pioneer Spotlight open, and even with Boros Energy as like the number 1 dog to prepare for, it still had a 55% win rate. So I would still like to see something getting axed from Boros Energy, but well, we just got to keep waiting. Okay, another interesting thing, Legacy. We have any Legacy fans in the house? Did you know that there is a 1-card combo in Legacy called Oops All Spells? So I listened. I wish I could shout out the guy. There's a YouTuber that collects the opinions of every single Legacy YouTuber and content creator to get an idea, like, what should we ban in this format? What do we got to do? And almost every single person said, ban this deck out of existence. So there's basically, it's a deck with no lands, and it plays Undercity Informer and Balustrade Spy, which basically do the same thing. When the spy enters, target player reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a land card, then puts all those cards in the graveyard. Spoiler alert, they will never find that land. Whole deck goes to the graveyard. A bunch of Narcomoebas come into play. Where's Narcomoeba? Where are you? You have a bunch of Narcomoebas come into play, which lets you play your Dread Return. So you sacrifice 3 creatures. The one extra creature will be the Balustrade Spy. And then put Thassa's Oracle in play. So it's just a 1-card combo, both for 4 mana. 3 mana with Undercity Informer and activating it with 1 mana and also Balustrade Spy. Are we missing 1 creature? How do I play Dread Return if I sacked the Undercity Informer? Shocked there was no Legacy ban, but the format seems as ignored as Pioneers. They're just so tone deaf about this format. Like, it was unbelievable. Like I said, I listened to like 30 content creators, and they all said, almost all of them said, you have to ban Undercity Informer and Balustrade Spy. This deck shouldn't exist. It's a turn 1 deck. I have been killed by this deck on turn 1 on the draw many times. I don't have Force of Will, and sometimes I have Force of Will, and it doesn't even matter because they've got Pact of Negation. Like, it's just crazy. And the spirit of this deck is so similar to what's it called? There's a green creature on the ban list. I don't remember its name because it never gets played. Something Druid. But there's already a card that you activate. It's like a creature. It's a 1-card win condition, but you have to activate it as Summoning Sickness, and it's banned. And then we have these cards that do not have Summoning Sickness and Hermit Druid. That's right. There's a Hermit Druid is on the ban list. These cards are better than her. So, like, the point is, Undercity Informer and Balustrade Spy are better than Hermit Druid by miles because they don't have Summoning Sickness at all, and they just win immediately. Whereas Hermit Druid would force you to wait a turn until next turn. Is Flash Hulk possible in Legacy? No, they've got Flash is banned. That's all you need to know. Flash is banned. There we go. So despite this is a big deal to the Legacy players because they have one huge event per year. Or maybe 2. They have Eternal Weekend in North America and they have Eternal Weekend in Europe. They want these cards banned now so that they can prepare for Eternal Weekend. They have like very few big tournaments to look forward to. Anyway, they didn't do anything. The explanation for not banning it, they did explain. We did get an explanation. It's that this is a cool deck. It's cool that this deck exists. It does something really neat with the rules of Magic the Gathering. And honestly, the deck can still sort of exist with Goblin Charbelcher. Look, if they banned Undercity Informer and Balustrade Spy, I think turning it into a Goblin Charbelcher deck is like probably fine. This is also a 1-card win condition, but it costs 7 mana. You need 7 mana available to combo off instead of 4 mana, so it'd be way more fair. Good, it was a menace in CEDH. Oh yeah, big. Oh, what? Balustrade Spy and Undercity Informer? Actually, I'm not familiar with the deck in CEDH. The Big Squig, all legacy content creators were talking as if a legacy ban was inevitable. Joke's on them, I guess. Yeah, they got nothing. Not to mention, they were also hoping that Dimir Reanimator would be taken down a peg. Look at this, 20% of the metagame. And they know the problem. It's Entomb. Entomb is the problem. And probably Reanimator would still be a deck even with Entomb banned. I mean, let's be serious. Like, and let's look at Entomb. It's just a tutor. So we have Mystical Tutor banned in Legacy. We've got Vampiric Tutor banned in Legacy. This is just a tutor for the Reanimator decks. Instant speed, like all the other ones. And probably it needs to go too. It probably needs to go. And it'll still be a strong deck. Okay, Reanimator's not going to completely go away. It just won't be completely OP. Or at the very least, they could acknowledge that they need to maybe axe Tameo. Because all it is now, it's like a blue Delver deck, except they don't win with Delver. They can win with Tameo, or they go for the Reanimator strategy with Traxa and Archon of Cruelty. It survived the bannings of Psychic Frog and Troll and is still tier 1. Yeah, that's correct. Say you could even argue ban Entomb, take maybe the Troll off, or maybe even take. I don't know about Psychic Frog. That might be going a little bit far. Maybe we still have to keep that Psychic Frog on the ban list. I know. I hope this isn't the trend going forward. I guess I probably. Well, I don't know what their reasoning is. Honestly, like I don't understand Wizards' reasoning. This is a format that I think the Legacy community can adapt super fast to. Like super fast. There's no reason to not change Legacy for the Legacy players. Why? There's a lot of people that say, oh, there's always a best deck. That is complete hogwash. That is not true at all. If you let the best deck continue to be the best deck, yes, that happens. But there are many games that are really flat and fair. But anyway, they're saying it's okay. Anyway, Oops All Spells is very vintage-esque. You know, this is supposed to be like a turn 2, turn 3 format. Oops All Spells is like turn 2, sometimes turn 1. And if you're not playing with Force of Will, well, then you're really screwed because you probably cannot do anything about them going off on turn 2. I like the idea of restricting cards. Are there as many vintage events as legacy events? Nah, a little bit less. But if you want to talk about vintage, like let's look at vintage. Look how balanced this format is. We do have a 20%er here. We have a 15%er, an 8%er, 7%, 7%, 6%, 6%, 4%. And let me tell you about vintage. These percentages change all the time. Like, hey, Mono White Initiative could be the top dog right now. But then in a month from now, it could be Jewel Shops. Another month from now, it could be Dimir, Lurrus something. Oh, wow, there's a lot of Lurrus decks here. It could be Dredge. So there's, it's a very fluid metagame. Nothing can be the top dog because it's powerful enough to keep moving and shaking things around. That's just that is actually the inspiring nature of vintage. It's pretty self-correcting for the most part. Very self-correcting. Pre-modern is the most balanced. Do they have pre-modern here? I don't see pre-modern, so I actually don't know what the metagame percentages are for that. There are no official tournaments for it anyway. Okay, the big squid. Sorry, the Ghost of Thomas Jenkins says, I'd argue 15% is about where you want the top deck because it does show some parity. Okay. Juha saying, oops is turn 1 unless it mulligans to 3. It's been that way in game 1 forever since the first untapped black modal face card was printed. Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised it still exists. Can it be beaten? Can oops be beaten? The answer is yes. Does it matter? The answer is no. So like the problem is you lose game 1 too often. There are a lot of cards in the sideboard you can bring in to beat this deck. Don't get me wrong. There's tons, tons of artifacts. They're gonna screw over this card. A lot of graveyard hate. But still doesn't change the fact that it wins too often. What website I'm on MTG Goldfish. Let me show you how we're on mtggoldfish.com. And then when you get to the main page, you go to decks. Go to popular decks / metagame, and then you choose the format that you want at the top. Here we got standard, modern, pioneer, and it shows all the events that have taken place. Standard league, standard showcase challenge. It's a really nice site for looking at the latest results for all your favorite formats. So we have Legacy. We're looking at Legacy over here. MTG Top 8 has pre-modern meta shares. Oh yeah. Okay, so they'll have it from all the game stores. It's, well, how big are those events, though? I know Vintage is proxy-friendly, but those deck prices... Oh, yeah. Oh, you want to look at the prices again? Does anyone have $45,000 to play Mono White Initiative? $52,000 for Lurrus, a Paradoxical Outcome? Why is there... Oh, so there's 2 different outcome decks. There's PO without Lurrus, PO with Lurrus. Sphere Shops for the low price of $54,000. Look, Dredge is the budget deck in this format. Budget Dredge. Countervine is also pretty cheap. Oh, because the Bazaar Baghdad is probably the only reserve list card. We're using MTG Goldfish and not MTG Top 8. Visually, it's better for a stream. Don't you like big pictures? Or do you want to see like a bunch of data and small words and stuff like that? That doesn't work so well for a stream. About 10K of cards short. Yeah. Aren't we all? We're all like $10,000 off from playing Dredge. It's USD. I don't think this is showing me in my local currency as a Canadian. So Excess Music says, the main problem with Legacy is that the combo decks are way too fast, so the fair decks can't really exist, and Wizards can't seem to understand this. I don't think they're that crazy. Look, Izzet Delver is a fair deck. Dimir Tempo is a fair deck. Red Stompy is a fair deck. I don't know where to put lands. I don't even know what I guess I consider lands a control deck or something. Control / combo. So I think there's, if anything, the fair strategies are at the top. And then Dimir Reanimator is the juice to this deck is that it is a fair deck with a combo plan. So if you beat the fair strategy, they'll be like, oops, I win, putting Archon of Cruelty in play or something. So that's the power of Dimir Reanimator. Whereas Izzet Delver and Dimir Tempo, they play only the fair strategy without the unfair combo strategy. And then you have a bunch of combo deck, but it's always been like that. You always had Sneak and Show, Doomsday. We now have a Mystic Forge deck. Oh, it's actually way heavier on combo than I thought. Yeah, looking at this Cephalid Breakfast, Omnitel. No control deck. Or barely no control. Usually there's a control deck. No control in Modern either. Gotta give control some life. Do you think Entomb should have been banned? I will trust the Legacy players that have grinded the crap out of this format. I play Legacy. I don't play it nearly as much as most content creators, so I will trust them that Entomb should have been banned. It probably should have been banned before. And it is such a strong parallel to the tutors, Mystical Tutor and Demonic Tutor. If anything, it's stronger because you can go Entomb immediately, put the card. It's almost like drawing the card immediately. Whereas Mystical Tutor and Demonic Tutor, sorry, Vampiric Tutor, not Demonic Tutor, Vampiric Tutor, put the card on top of your deck. So there's a little, you have to wait a turn, or wait to your turn to get the card. Lord Magic says, I'd rather see Tamiyo banned. Totally reasonable. I don't think Wizards made mention of Tamiyo. So this is a card designed for Modern, but is broken by Legacy because of Brainstorm and some other cantrips. So Tamiyo, Flyer, attacks, investigate. But if you draw your third card in a turn, exile Tamiyo and return it back to the battlefield. into this monstrosity. So by turn 2, you can have a Planeswalker that goes +2 until your next turn. Whenever a creature attacks you, it gets a -1, -0. You're not even looking at -3. You're going straight for that -7 because you draw cards equal to half the number of cards in your library, rounded up, and you have no maximum hand size. I love her so much. Ben is a BS card. So I personally have not had that big of a problem with Tamiyo, but obviously is a very strong card for the format, and I would not be surprised if they ban this card too. Eventually. Can we put all newly banned cards in a tier list? You want to do it right? I get. You want to have all newly banned cards? I don't even know. Where do you want to put it? Okay, hold on. I can pull out a tier list. Okay, where am I? I am lost. Okay, hold on. We have a tier list. Tamiyo and Radstorm. Okay, we got a tier list active. So all the newly banned cards. Corey Steelcutter. I would put this S tier. Only because it's real easy to abuse in the format, given that it is the format is full of like 1-drops. So this is a pretty easy card to enable. It basically pumps out a bunch of Monastery Swiftspears, which I think are very, very strong. Unbelievably strong. This should be a rare. Next up, Abuelo's Awakening. Not strong at all. It's only strong. The card actually sucks. This is a very expensive Reanimator card. But the fact of the matter is, it reanimates Omniscience, so that's what makes the card look so strong. Otherwise, this card is awful. There's nothing strong about this card. I'll put it B tier though. I mean, obviously it's not useless. A 4-mana Reanimator to combo off for a win is fine. Ancient Tomb-oriented fair strategies are basically non-existent in Legacy. I'm gonna bring them back, okay? I'm bringing them back. Merfolk with Ancient Tomb and City of Traders is going to be a deck. Over under 1 billion, how many wild cards is Arena refunding after date? Tons. But the problem is not what they refund. The problem is the decks sometimes basically get banned. Juha says you can brainstorm with a fetch open, then if your opponent removes Tamiyo, you can just brainstorm again. Oh! Well, yeah, but if your opponent has a removal spell, they should have played it on their turn. They should not have actually waited for your turn. That's actually a huge punt on their part. If you go turn 1 Tamiyo and they play land, they should bolt immediately. Don't even give them a chance. It's just too risky to wait. I think it's too risky. Also, you let the Tamiyo attack? No, it's too risky to wait. That's a huge punt. Okay, next card. Monstrous Rage. I hate this card. I think this card is more... It's a combination of strong and unfun to play against because blocking is completely non-existent. So it removes blocking from being a strategy. Is partially a removal spell because whatever you block with is just going to die. What else do I have to say about this? Yeah, it just deals a bunch of damage. And the Monstrous Roll token stays forever. We'll give it... I'm going to put it S tier. Everyone knows this card is a huge pain in this format. Not to mention Pioneer as well. Hardfire Hero. Very strong 1-drop. Always get value no matter how you kill it. And then the longer it stays on the battlefield, the stronger it is. I'm still going to give it an A tier, though. I think I could live with this card in existence. It's very, very good. Next up. Up the Beanstalk. Outrageous value. The only problem with Up the Beanstalk is how clunky the deck is. But if the clunk doesn't get to them, then it'll get to you. S tier. Because you do nothing on turn 2. Turn 2, do nothing. In an aggro metagame, that's not good. But if the metagame's not going to be aggro, then this card's going to be OP. Counterspell and Historic shocked me. Oh, yeah. Got unbanned. Hopeless Nightmare. This card is good, but it's not that good. I'll put it in C tier. It's only good because you can bounce it. But you can't even bounce it anymore because they banned This Town Ain't Big Enough. This card was a good card. I don't know how good it was. It was good. I don't think it was... Some people might say it's S tier. Okay, do you know what? For those people, I will put in S tier. So this is how I'm ranking the BNR announcement. Hopeless Nightmare is extremely annoying. Well, only if they can bounce it over and over again. But what if the enabler to bounce it is gone? That's just like a weird shock to the face for the most part. All right, that's it for today. Did you like the BNR announcement? Do you think they cut it short on the other formats? Is it good that they completely cleaned up Standard? Let me know in the comments section below. And as usual, we do this show 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. Thanks for showing up today. I really appreciate everyone's support. Also appreciate the support, the financial support from viewers like you, if you're a member on YouTube or a patron on Patreon, and also the super chats that also make you part of the show and other people part of the show. Of course, thank you to everyone who showed up today. People like Mikey J, old boy. We got Rodham. Did you see the Time Sieve combo deck in Modern? I did not see that thing, but I do not doubt that that could be a deck. We have Stanel, Argentina, Bell. We got Fasty Dave, the big squig. Steve Cooper. Toilet Duck, if you can start up a tier list that quickly, maybe you could do that on an AI card or custom card stream. Oh, God. Combining AI cards, the bingo card, and what's it called? And the tier list all in one go. And Rodham and Lord Magicus. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep bringing those coffees and keep brewing in Standard. And we'll see you in the I'll see you guys at the next cup. Take care. Bye-bye.